Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bunnysays, and today I'll be introducing a new Let's Play. This is the Fighting Fantasy Classics series, of which they have several game books. They are Choose Your Own Adventure game books. Now, I used to play these when I was a little kid, when I was a teenager. When I was a young teenager. 12, 13 years old. I loved these books. So, and I used to buy them all the time. And, in this case, they have, let me tell you about this a little bit. If you have not watched the other Let's Play, this, computerized version of it will roll the dice for you and all this type of thing, but it is otherwise identical to the, pretty identical to the main actual game book, including the original art. So, in this case, I played Death Trap Dungeon before. These are the ones so far that are here. And as you can see, the ones that are locked are the ones that I haven't bought yet. But, House of Hell. I don't think I ever did that one before. That might be interesting. Oh, Trial of Champions. I gotta get a hold of this one. I think I remember this being really cool. But, alright. I'm not gonna go through the rules. The history here in the bottom here. It's just a history of, the company. And I won't necessarily go through that. If you really do want to know about that type of thing, I would suggest going back to my other Let's Play and checking that out. At least the first episode, where I read all about it. In the meantime, we're going to be playing today City of Thieves, game book number 5. So let's get right into it. Here's a pretty cool looking cover. Has some kind of a house with a skeletal Grim Reaper guy on it. Now, for people who don't know, I'll read the whole story here, and I'll read it and describe the art and I'll say the dice rolls and stuff like that, so that for those of you who want to just listen, you don't have to necessarily be watching along with it. You could just be listening. I'll tell you the dice rolls and what I rolled and all that type of thing, and what I need to roll and stuff, and I'll describe everything, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, in the meantime, let's go. Alright. City of Thieves. Okay, City of Thieves is a fighting fantasy game book. An interactive adventure in which you are the hero. You can only win by choosing the correct path, finding equipment, avoiding traps, and surviving combat. You will need to be as wise as an owl, and as cunning as a weasel. Really? Weaselly cunning, okay, to triumph over the challenges ahead of you. Before embarking on your adventure, you must determine your own strengths and weaknesses with a series of dice rolls. You have been preparing for your quest by training yourself in swordplay to improve your skill. Now, and exercising vigorously to build up your stamina. Skill and stamina, two of the stats that you use. Skill is like the number you need to roll under to make a hit, and stamina is how many hit points you have. Before making your rolls, you must choose from one of the 3 difficulty settings. This game book has been designed for optimum challenge on the adventure difficulty mode. For newcomers to fighting fantasy, we recommend adventurer or free read modes. For experienced readers already familiar with the printed versions of this game book, we recommend hardcore hero mode. Okay. Learning from last time, I'm going to do free read mode, so we don't have to go back through the entire book again to figure out where we went wrong. I'm already anticipating that I'm going to go wrong here, so This time I'm going to do free read mode. Okay, let's read about free read mode. Play Sea of Thieves like an old school cheater. Already? Really? Okay. Okay. In free read mode, you roll your character exactly the same way you would in adventurer mode. Alright? But you are given 3 extra options to help easily negotiate your way through the book. Rewind, free choice, and heal. Okay? These are accessed through the adventure sheet. You may use all 3 of these buttons at any time during your adventure, except during combat, when you may only use the heal button. Okay, then they go on to describe... Let me see here. Okay, and they go on to describe the 3 buttons. Rewind button. You can move backwards to the previous page. Should you take the wrong direction, you can now back up and choose another path. Okay. Free choice button. You can unlock all links on any page irrespective of whether they are available, so you can easily negotiate tricky parts of the story even if you do not possess the required conditions or items. Be warned, navigating the story in this way can sometimes result in odd story outcomes. And the heal button. You are able to fully heal yourself at any time, so you will never run out of stamina. Okay, I'll probably pretty much only use the heal button. Maybe the rewind button if I die or something like that. But, otherwise, I mean, I won't be cheating that much or anything. Let's do free read mode. Which difficulty do you choose? Adventurer, Hardcore Hero, or free read? I will, of course, choose free read. You have chosen free read mode. Before continuing, you must calculate your initial stamina. Your stamina score reflects your general constitution, your will to survive, your determination, and overall fitness. The higher your stamina score, the longer you will be able to survive. You must roll 2 dice and add 12 to the number rolled. This is then entered in the stamina box in your adventure sheet. Stamina will go up and down during your journey, but if your stamina falls to 0, you die and your adventure is over. Okay, roll your starting stamina. Now, the computer keeps track of all this stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. And what I want to say, normally you could right click and you have adventure sheet and all that type of thing in the bottom here. So let's roll our stamina. Okay, come on. 12, 2 6s. Boxcars. Your roll of 12 plus a base of 12 means your stamina is 24. Yeah. Wow, I got 24 stamina. I got the max. When it says roll, by the way, roll dice, it means 6-sided. Everything is 6-sided in this. Next, determine your skill. Now, what I want is good skill. I don't care so much about the stamina because I'll be cheating with the stamina, healing myself. So, your skill reflects your swordsmanship and general fighting expertise. The higher, the better. Your starting skill is determined by rolling 1 die and adding 6 to the number. This is then entered in the skill box in your adventure sheet. Your adventure sheet can be accessed at any time using the menu at the bottom of the screen. Roll your starting skill. Okay, now I want good skill. Forget stamina. 2. Oh wow, no way. You roll over 2 plus a base of 6 means your skill is 8. I really want 8 skill. 8 skill is really bad. Okay, whatever. I have massive stamina, so I could take the really crappy rolls. Next, determine your luck. Your luck score indicates how naturally lucky a person you are. Luck and magic are facts of life in the fantasy kingdom you are about to explore. Your starting luck is determined by rolling 1 die and adding 6 to the number. This is then entered in the luck box on your adventure sheet. Roll your starting luck. 1. Your roll of 1 plus base of 6 means your luck is 7. Damn. Alright. Next, you must choose a potion to take with you. In addition to your other starting equipment, you may take one bottle of a magical potion which will aid you on your quest. Each potion contains enough for one measure, so use it wisely. The potion of skill and stamina will fully restore your skill and stamina points, respectively. The potion of fortune will add 1 to your initial luck before fully restoring your luck points. Which potion will you take in your quest? Now, from previous experience, I know that skill is really difficult. You could get the strength, skill and strength. Strength is just your stamina points, so it's basically a healing potion. The potion of fortune is good if you want your luck points. But the potion of skill, you'll lose skill points, and you'll rarely ever get a chance to raise it back up again. So, seeing as how our skill isn't that great in the first place, I'm going to take the skill potion. Are you sure you want the potion of skill? Yes. Okay. Next, you must prepare your adventurer's equipment. You begin your adventure with a sword and shield, leather armor, and a backpack containing provisions, food and drink for the journey ahead. Rationing your provisions is a key to a successful adventure. They may be consumed at any time, excluding combat, by accessing the adventure sheet. Each meal restores 4 stamina. Be sure to pay close attention to your stamina and restore it regularly. Your difficulty setting determines how many provisions you begin with. Adventurers and free readers start with 10, while hardcore heroes begin with 3. Now again, this is they're basically like mini healing potions, right? Little mini healing. Each provision you could take, whenever you're not in combat, you could just eat one, and you'll get 4 points back to your stamina. During your quest, you may encounter characters and items that alter your 3 scores: stamina, skill, and luck. Usually these scores may only ever be restored to their initial amount. On very rare occasions, a particular page may grant an effect that defies this rule. Aside from these occasions, some magic items may also allow you to exceed your initial scores. Once you have readied your equipment, you may begin. May the luck of the gods go with you or the adventure ahead. Okay, so let's begin. Let's get right to it. You are an adventurer in the world of magic, monsters and magic. Living by quickness of wit and skill of sword, you earn your gold as a hired warrior, usually in the employ of rich nobles and barons on missions too dangerous or difficult for their own people. Slaying monsters and fearsome beasts in pursuit of some fabled treasure comes as second nature to you, though. Being experienced and highly trained in the art of the sword, you allow nothing to stand in the way of your quests. Your success on a mission is always assured, and your reputation has spread throughout the lands. Whenever you enter a village or town, the news of your arrival spreads to the citizens like wildfire. Wow, really? Okay. Not with an 8 skill. Few of them have ever met a dragon slayer before. Really? Okay. One evening, after a long walk through the outlands, you arrive at Silverton, a town which lies at the crossroads of the main trading routes in these parts. Great wooden wagons hauled by teams of oxen are often seen rumbling slowly through the town, laden with herbs, spices, silks, metalware, and exotic foods from far-off lands. Over the years, Silverton has prospered as a result of the rich merchants and traders stopping there en route to distant markets. Its wealth is quite apparent, with ornate buildings and richly dressed people aplenty. But as you enter the town gates, something strikes you as being not quite right. The people look nervous and on edge. Then you notice that all the windows on the buildings have great iron grills bolted over them, and the doors have been strengthened too. Oh. Okay. Although you usually prefer your own company to that of others, you decide to stay in Silverton for the night. You want to find out who or what is troubling the people. Okay. As you walk down the main street, a single note from a bell rings out from a tall tower ahead. Then a man shouts, almost desperately, "Nightfall, nightfall, everybody indoors." What's this about? You see people scurrying around with anxious faces and looking surprised when they see you. Across the street you see a tavern with the words, "The Old Toad," painted on its signboard. As you enter the tavern, a whisper runs through the locals as they recognize you. Some put down their mugs and stare. You're somewhat surprised that none come over to hear tales of adventure. Walking over to the counter, you ask the old innkeeper for a room and a hot tub, but she ignores you and shuffles over to the great oak door, pushing six large bolts into place. Only then does she turn to you and say quietly, "There will be 5 copper pieces for the room and 1 more for the tub in advance, if you please." You reach into a leather pouch in your belt and toss the coins on the counter. She hands you an iron key, but at the very moment there is a loud knocking at the door, followed by a voice shouting, "Open up, open up! This is Owen Caroliff." The old innkeeper shuffles over to the oak door again and slides open the bolts. Then a fat and balding man dressed in rich scarlet robes bursts into the tavern, looking around frantically. He sees you and walks quickly in your direction, huffing and puffing. He is a man certainly not used to haste. You notice great beads of sweat on his forehead and the pale candlelight of the room. As he nears you, he calls out urgently, "Stranger, I must speak with you. Please sit down. It is important that I speak with you." Okay, let's see what's going on here. When he turns to the innkeeper to snap his fingers for food and drinks, you can see that he is obviously of some standing in the town, but his face is full of anguish and sorrow. Being curious, you decide to hear what the man has to say. He poses a chair for you at a table, bidding you to sit down, and the innkeeper bustles in with a tray laden with hot broth, roast goose, and mead. Sounds good. The man in the scarlet robes sit opposite in silence, watching you as you feast, as though examining you for some purpose of his own. Finally, as you push your plate away, that's nice of him to wait until we're finished eating. Finally, as you push your plate away, the man leans forward and says in a low but anxious voice, "Stranger, I know of you and seek your aid. My name is Owen Caroliff, and I am mayor of Silverton. We are in great trouble and danger. We are living under a curse, and it is I who must rid us of it." No. 10 days ago, 2 messengers of evil rode into town on huge black stallions with fierce red eyes. It was impossible to see the faces of the riders, for they wore long black cloaks with hoods pulled over their faces. Their voices were cold, and each word spoken ended with an unnerving hiss. They asked for me by name, and when I came over to greet them, they wanted to take my beloved daughter, Morel, to stay with their master, Zanbar Bone. No doubt that you know he is the Night Prince. Ooh. Of course I refused their demand, and without another word they turned and rode slowly out of town, heads down and shoulders hunched. I knew then that beneath the cloaks were hidden the skeletal and soulless bodies of spirit stalkers. Zanbar Bone always uses them as his messengers, as they will complete the mission or die in the attempt, and they do not die easily. Only a silver arrow through the heart will release those evil beings from their eternal twilight existence. Ooh, that's something we should remember. Silver arrow through the heart. Okay. Who knows what it would take to kill Zanbar Bone? That same night, after the spirit stalkers left, our troubles began. The Night Prince was angry and determined to harm us. 6 moon dogs came, each stronger than 4 men, each with razor-sharp fangs. They stalked through the town, entering homes through the open windows, and then killing the poor people inside. Ooh. In the morning, we counted 23 dead. Oh, wow, 23 dead. So we barred our windows and bolted our doors, and each night the moondogs return. We are unable to sleep for fear that they might find a way into our homes. Some people are now talking of sending Morel to Zambar Bone. Those whimpering traitors. I should have them flogged. But what good would that do? There is but one hope, and that rests with you, stranger. There is a man called Nicodemus, who, for reasons I'll never understand, lives in Port Blacksand. Ooh, Port Blacksand. The place is commonly called the City of Thieves, as it is the home of every pirate, brigand, assassin, thief, and evildoer for hundreds of miles around. Wow. Okay. I think he lives there just to get some peace from the likes of us. He's a wise old wizard and is unlikely to come to much harm even in Port Blacksand, for his magical powers are great. He alone is capable of defeating Zambar Bone. He used to be a friend of mine many years ago. We need him, and I beg you to bring him to us. None here dares enter Port Blacksand. You will be well rewarded if you help us, stranger. Take these 30 gold pieces for your journey, and take this sword to use and keep. 30 gold pieces. Is that it? Seems like a lot to go into the City of Thieves, the home of every pirate, brigand, assassin, and thief and evildoer for 100 miles around. Okay. Well, maybe that's just, hopefully he'll give us more money than that later. There's just 30 gold pieces for spending money. Okay, and a sword. Let's see what the sword is. Okay, as Owen Carolef rises, he is going to tell me about the sword, okay? As Owen Carolef rises, he pulls back his scarlet robe, revealing the finest broadsword you have ever seen. Nice. He hands it to you and, touching the edge of the blade, you're surprised to see a droplet of blood fall from your finger. You then examine the marvelously ornate gilded serpents twining around the hilt. You had never before wanted anything so badly in your life. Oh, okay, this is more like it. You stand up and hold out your right arm to Owen. He shakes it eagerly, saying, "You must set off at first light of dawn. The moondogs will be gone by then. I shall be forced to stay the night here also. So let's drink to our destiny, and may the gods be with us." Okay, that's more like it. The sword ups the ante there a little bit. For the next hour, Owen talks about your coming journey, explaining in detail how to reach Port Blacksand. Later, you gather up your backpack and furs and climb the wooden stairs to your room. You sleep uneasily, despite the security afforded by your new broadsword, as you were more than once woken by the sniffing, scratching, and howling of the roaming moondogs outside. By dawn, you are already awake and dressed, determined to reach Port Blacksand quickly to find this man, Nicodemus. As you leave the tavern, a black cat scurries past your feet. You almost trip. A bad omen, perhaps? Now, turn over. Alright, here we go. Now the adventure begins. Let's go. Oh, okay, we got a picture here. Looks like a city guard or something holding a spear. He's got some kind of evil-looking black helmet on. Some black chainmail. He's pointing a finger at you. He looks pretty ominous. Okay, let's read this here. The walk to Port Blacksand takes you west, some 50 miles across plains and over hills. Fortunately, without any harmful encounters. Eventually, you reach the coast and see the high wall surrounding Port Blacksand and the cluster of buildings projecting into the sea like an ugly black mark. Ships lie anchored in the harbor, and smoke rises gently from the chimneys. It looks peaceful enough, and it is only when the wind changes that you smell the decay in the breeze to remind you of the evil nature of this notorious place. Following the dusty road north along the coast to the city gates, you begin to notice fearful warnings. Skulls of wooden spikes, starving men in iron cages suspended from the city wall, and black flags everywhere. As you approach the main gate, a chill runs down your spine, and you instinctively grip the hilt of your broadsword for reassurance. At the gate, you're confronted by a tall guard, wearing a black chainmail coat and iron helmet. Ah, he's a guard, okay. He steps forward, barring the way with a spike, saying, "Who would enter Bullet Black Sand not invited? State the nature of your business. Go back the way you came." How will you respond? To tell him you wish to be taken to Nicodemus, turn to 202? To tell him you wish to sell some stolen booty, turn to 33? Or, if you wish to attack him quickly with your sword, turn to 49. Always the option to start fighting, huh? Okay. So, I don't know. Okay, we could either tell him we wish to be taken to the wizard, or tell him we wish to sell some stolen booty. I don't know about talking about the wizard. Like, just openly. This is the City of Thieves, right? So, tell him to wish to sell some stolen booty. Let's do that, because, yeah, this is the City of Thieves. So, okay. You tell the guard that you wish to sell some silver chalices that you stole from a tavern in Silverton, and that you will pay him a gold piece for his advice as to where to go for the best price. The guard looks at you suspiciously, saying, "Let me have a look at these chalices in your backpack before I admit you." No. What a bad... No. I should have said I want to buy some stolen booty. That's what I wanted. Should have said. Okay. What will you do? Tell him that you know the chalices are cursed and should only be examined by a mage, turn to 381. If you want to run past the garden into the main street, turn to 291. Or to attack him quickly with your sword, turn to 49. Okay, let's forget about the attacking part. Well, I don't want to run by him. Well, so I don't really have much, well, I could run by him, I guess, but I'll tell him the curse, because it should only be examined by mage, because maybe he'll tell us what the Nicodemus is. The guard frowns and says, "A likely story, I'm sure, but I suppose you are just the same as the rest inside the city. You may enter at your own peril, or buy my advice for 3 gold pieces. 3? If you wish to ignore the guard and head straight into the city, turn to 74. Or to buy the guard's advice for 3 gold pieces, turn to 261. Well, I got 30, so I do, don't I? Okay, yeah, here we go. Here's my adventure sheet. And it shows us here, see? Oh, wow, here we go. 24 stamina, 8 skill. Here's my portrait, little portrait that says Bunnysays on it. And luck of 7. I have my backpack. I have my rewind button, my free choice, and my heal button. Ooh, I have my equipment, leather armor, shield, majestic broadsword, consumables, potion of skill and provisions, currency, gold pieces times 30. Yeah. Oh, here's the map too. This is one thing I really like about this game, is the map. Well, you can see the map is pretty good. And then you can see the city gate here. A little arrow going up to Key Street. Okay. Let's go back. Bookmarks. I got bookmark stuff. Okay, let's get rid of my adventure sheet here. A likely story, I'm sure. Okay, if you wish to ignore the guide and head straight into the city, turn to 74. Let's buy his advice. Let's not be cheap right away. We got 30 gold, so let's go for it. This city is ruled by Lord Azure, and he is a cruel man. When you preside over the chaotic inhabitants of Port Black Sand, You have to be mean, and he's the meanest. I should warn you that if you are found with other paths, you're as good as dead. I would get one if I were you pretty quickly. He then makes a sweeping gesture of his arm as you walk past him into the city. Oh, so he ain't a pass, huh? Okay. Turn to 74. Okay. Through the main gates, you see that the rubbish-filled streets of the port are narrow and cobbled. Old and decrepit buildings line them closely, with their upper stories overhanging menacingly. Where would you like to go? If you want to go west down K Street, turn to 95. To head north along Market Street, turn to 116. Or go east down Clark Street, turn to 17. I need a pass, so... So, west, Market is north, or east. Okay, let's go west for right now. Okay, I thought this might be leading to a place I could get a pass. Maybe I should go back and go to Market. No, never mind. On the left side of the street, you see a large iron key hanging over the doorway of a small shop. A sign in the window reads, J.B. Raggins, Locksmith. No. If you want to enter the shop, turn to 224. If you would rather continue walking west, turn to 300. Okay, let's go into the shop then. Might as well. Oh, we have a picture here. Looks like a dwarf sitting on a stool, hunched over like a key-making machine. On the wall behind her are a bunch of keys and a clock, and there's a cat beneath them here. And that's about it, really. It says J. Raggins, Locksmith. Okay, sitting on a stool at the back of the shop is an old bespectacled dwarf. He is busy cutting a key on a cast-iron treadle machine, which squeaks and grinds noisily. You cough to get his attention, but he does not look up from his work. Finally, the machine comes to a halt and the dwarf asks you what you want. You may ask him if he has any keys for sale by turning to 66, or try asking if he knows where Nicodemus lives. Turn to 236. Okay, well, obviously he has keys for sale. It's a key shop. I don't know if I should ask him where Nicodemus is, because I don't know if I should mention this guy or not. Too much, because I think people might get suspicious. Or maybe they don't like him. Okay, let's try asking where he is. I don't care about keys for right now. Your question produces a suspicious look on the face of the dwarf, and he raises one eyebrow. Then he says, I know Nicodemus, but what do you want of him? I knew it. People are getting suspicious. How would you like to respond? To tell him the truth about your mission, turn to 57. Or to lie and tell the locksmith that you want to kill Nicodemus, turn to 218. Oh, man. Oh, really? This is the type of choice that you have to make in this game that I really like, that I enjoy. That's like, well, I don't enjoy it, but it's hard, and it makes it sort of rewarding. Because you're not, you sit there and try to figure out what to do. Tell him the truth. Now, if I tell him the truth, then he's evil. He's going to be evil to me. Or to lie and tell him you want to kill him. Now, if he's evil, he wants to kill. See, if he's evil, he'll help you. Right? I mean, well, he lives here, so, I mean, in the City of Thieves, so he must be evil. he's not gonna be like the one good person sitting in town making keys, you know, and people leave him alone. Well, they might leave him alone because he makes keys. People might need the keys for to hide their gold away and stuff like that. But he can't be that good. I mean, there's no way he'd be living here. Oh, wow, okay. What do we do here? Okay, I'm gonna lie. I don't want to tell him the truth because he might spread it around too, so I'm gonna lie and tell him I want to kill him. The dwarf smiles and extends his arm to you. I knew it. See? Look. The dwarf smiles and extends his arm to you, saying, "An enemy of Nicodemus is a friend of mine. Welcome, stranger." Ha. You tell Raggins that you do not know where Nicodemus lives. He explains that the wizard lives alone in a small hut under the singing bridge, which crosses the Catfish River to the old part of the city and harbor. Okay, he lives in a hut under the singing bridge. Okay, which crosses the Catfish River. He explains that the bridge is in the middle of the city and that most streets lead to it. Okay, good. You thank the dwarf for his information and leave his shop to continue west along Key Street. A little typo there. You leave his shop and continue west along Key Street. Can I still buy keys off him or what? Guess not. Turn to 300. Okay. Well. City of Thieves. Okay. I'm going to end this here. Getting along. We're going to continue on next time in the City of Thieves. Luckily, we lucked out there with a dwarf, so that was pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to end this here on Bunnysays, and thank you for joining me. Hopefully you continue on next time with me, and we'll continue through the city and see if we get to Nicodemus and see if we can do our thing here. So, thank you for joining me, and please join me again next time. Goodbye for now.